Hello and welcome back to another episode of Soccer and Sixes Stories from the Street. This time we've teamed up with our good friends and trusted partners, Save the Children India, to proudly announce the launch of the Street Child Cricket World Cup India 2023. It's going to be a packed show with some inspirational guests. We're very proud to work with many amazing organisations around the world supporting street-connected young people in the ongoing fight for their human rights, and who better to explain those issues to you than the young people themselves.
Street-connected young people are faced a lot of problems on the street, like the lack of a safe place, the lack of education, the lack of having a job enabling them to earn money, and they are treated by the government and the people as if they are a problem of society and not the society is problem by not providing a decent life for them.
Para mí, el tema que es más importante es la seguridad, porque los niños, niñas y jóvenes que viven en situación de calle están expuestos no solo a la discriminación, el racismo o la violencia, sino que también están expuestos al tráfico de órganos, al trabalho forçado ou ao trabalho sexual.
De modo, tem muita dificuldade para a gente praticar o esporte ou fazer algo que a gente gosta, porque além do tiroteio constante que tem aqui, o tráfico impede muito da gente fazer as coisas. Às vezes a gente quer ir pro treino e acaba sendo prejudicado pelas trocas de tiro, pelas operações que tem.
Most of the time, street-connected young people face rejection and neglect. This makes them not safe emotionally and physically. They lack birth certificates, which says their identity is not legal. And they spend time in the streets when other kids are at school accessing education, and street-connected young people are in the streets. They lack education.
Los jóvenes de la calle enfrentan la identidad, ya que muchos de ellos no pueden obtener su carnet de identidad porque no cuentan con suficiente plata y tampoco con un apoyo de la alcaldía o de las personas. Es por eso que las personas de la calle no pueden obtener un carnet de identidad.
It takes inspirational people to conceive and organise an event such as the Street Child World Cup. Our next guests are just that. Let me welcome John Rose, CEO of Street Child United, and Vidisha Pillai, CEO of Save the Children India. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
So John, let's start off with you. Tell us a little bit about Street Child United and some of the past events that you've created, should I say, across the globe.
We met a boy called Anjali in South Africa in 2010, who said, when people see me on the streets, they say I am a street child. But when they see me playing football, they say I am a person. So Street Child United is very much about giving identity to young people. And we piggyback global events. So the FIFA Football World Cup, and now the ICC Cricket World Cup. Estimates are that there are 100 million street children worldwide. Well, this is their World Cup. This is their chance to tell the world that they matter.
Vidisha, tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing at Save the Children India.
Thank you so much, Archie. So as you're aware, probably, Save the Children has been around for 100 years, since 1919, across 100 countries around the world. And our journey in India has been, for at least half a century. We estimated that in India, therefore, overall, there would be, at any given point of time, at least 2 million children living in street situations, and about 79% of them do not have access to the basic identity document that John was actually speaking to. We launched a campaign called the Invisibles, because without an identity, these children who are citizens of India are really invisible. And it was through this public mobilization and action, as well as joined up advocacy and lobbying with the government, that we have now, working in 10 cities across India, been able to provide over 200,000 children an identity, and at least half of them have been linked back with schemes such as access to school or access to health services. But we also feel that it's a job that's only half done.
Now, John, tell us a little bit about what's going to happen at the Street Child Cricket World Cup in India 2023.
So there'll be teams of young people, mixed gender, boys and girls, 14 to 17, from all over the world. It's going to be in India, the home of cricket, amazingly. One of the things I'm most excited about is our train journey. We're going to get on the I Am Somebody Express. All the young people, all the journalists, all the volunteers will travel from Chennai up to New Delhi. So as well as cricket, as well as a game, there'll be arts activities and a congress on children's rights. And the legacy of this sporting event is that 1 million street-connected children will receive birth certificates and identity for the first time.
I've literally got goosebumps. I mean, it's so incredible and exciting. But Isha, coming back to you, why is it so important for Save the Children India to campaign and to work closely ahead of the Street Child Cricket World Cup with us at the moment?
I think one of the foundations of the success that we've had so far has really been partnerships. Although these children come from various countries, but many of the challenges and issues they face are really so similar. This is an opportunity for two organizations who have that common vision to inspire people to sit up, take notice, listen to these children, and hopefully motivate them to take action.
Fantastic. And what are you both looking forward to the most? Is there one particular element that you'd like to share with us, maybe?
This is India, and we are a cricket crazy nation. So for us to be able to sort of, leverage the platform of cricket and provide this platform to these children who have hitherto felt that there's no one who really even knows they exist, I think for me is the most exciting thing that I'm really looking forward to.
The highlight for me is always the General Assembly. It's where the young people speak about the demands that they are entitled to and they want to make. And the Indian young children have always spoken really, really well. I'm thinking back to the 2016 General Assembly, and one of the girls, she said, I'm not asking you for a favor. I am entitled to these rights. These rights are mine.
What kind of legacy do you think something like this will leave behind?
I want to see 1 million young people be able to say, through a game of cricket, I existed officially for the first time. And that gave me the opportunity to go into education and then to get a job. And I am now a full member of society.
Every time we go on a drive and we stop at a traffic signal, you will have one of these children come up and knock at your window. And I want every citizen in India to sort of sit up and take notice of that child, to ask them, what is your name? Where do you live? Are you going to school? And if you're not, here is the number that either I will call or provide to you or your parents so you can call them and get access to these services.
What I say to the people of India is, this is your World Cup. You only get to host a World Cup every so often. So embrace the Street Child World Cup. We talk about it being more than a game, and it's only possible if everybody gets on board the I Am Somebody Express.
Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today. We're absolutely thrilled, and I know there's plenty of work to do, but it's going to be incredible, and I wish you all the best for 2023. See you in India.
Thank you so much.
We've all heard about the event from the organisers, but what has the Street Child Cricket World Cup done for the players that have been involved? Let's hear more from the young people.
It's very difficult as a street child to dream about Street Child Cricket World Cup, but we got opportunity to perform. So we worked hard and with regular day and night practice to win the Street Child Cricket World Cup.
We have ability to play well even as street children.
The Street Children Cricket World Cup made possibility to get birth certificate, passport and visa to go abroad. It has given me the opportunity to raise the rights of street kids of Bangladesh.
Street Child Cricket World Cup transformed my life. It made me famous in front of everyone.
Next, I'm delighted to be joined by Save the Children India's Pragya Vats. As head of campaign, she's directly involved in vital work to secure birth registrations, gender equality, and basic human rights for India's hundreds of thousands of street-connected children. Pragya also travelled to England in 2019 as team leader for India North, so is uniquely placed to tell us about what it means for India to host the Street Child Cricket World Cup in 2023. Well, we're thrilled that you could join us today. Now, you were in London, the home of cricket, for Street Child Cricket World Cup last year, but 2023 will see us into the spiritual home of cricket. So just how big do you think this World Cup could be?
I believe, having witnessed it firsthand last year, until then I was talking to John and the team, that's extremely passionate team, the Street Child United. But when I saw in action, it actually is true to its tagline, more than a game. Because yes, it was more than a game. You had Congress alongside, you had children speaking at the Parliament. And for me, that's the power that we are trying to create. Yes, we are tapping on to the energy that the sport brings, but you're using that power to translate into something more tangible. Cricket is an entry point, as it were. But what is really, really significant for me and extremely important takeaway is that children will be coming together to speak for themselves. Children will be coming to demand world leaders and their national leaders to do what's due to them. It's a change that they demand in their voice, speaking at the global platform, as it were. And that is what I'm most excited about. Imagine hundreds of children gathering in India at a global platform to urge world leaders and their political leaders to say that, hey, I count and I am somebody too. That's the fire of this tournament and this initiative. And that is the most exciting part for me, that children being at the center of it all.
Just give us a sense of how big is cricket in India? And I know that's a very obvious question, because we always say here that, you know, cricket's in the DNA. If you're Indian, it's in your DNA. It's part of the fabric of India, isn't it? So just give us a sense of, you know, how special it is for you as a game and why it's more than a game.
Cricket is literally the religion which unites, binds people in country, across countries, and there's a cricket fever when it happens, you know, like everywhere, like whether you go to there's sporting bars and of course at homes where everything has to shut down to watch the cream of cricket on their screens.
I think you've described it beautifully. I think cricket fever, that sums it up so beautifully, because us as British Asians, NRIs, as you like to call us, it's exactly the same. Everything shuts down, all the families sitting together. It's that sense of community and belonging. I understand you've been working with Dia Mirza. I mean, she's a fantastic role model out there, particularly for young girls. How did that relationship begin then?
I think it all began in 2016. That was when actually Save the Children had gone out advocating for street connected children, and that was a specific agenda that Dia felt was something that she wanted to sort of advocate on, and that journey has continued, and she has been such an ardent supporter of the cause of street connected children. And you'll hear from her, like, she has met children, she has met ministers with her report, so she has literally owned this agenda of street connected children. And when we were thinking about the show and 2023, we couldn't have thought of a better person to advocate for street connected children, and a role model who has been associated with Save the Children for so long, consistently talking about why street children matter and why they must count. And it was an absolute pleasure to catch up with her this week to talk about her association and support for Street Child Cricket World Cup 2023. So Dia Mirza, the actor, the believer, the dreamer, and the humanist, who has been associated with Save the Children for a long time. I had the pleasure to catch up with her on issues that we must be focusing on as we head to 2023. Street Child Cricket World Cup is set to come to India, and we are as excited. And she too brings that enthusiasm and her support for the cause of street connected children. And together we will make it bigger and better as we head to 2023. So we're very pleased to welcome Dia Mirza, Artist Ambassador, Save the Children, a dreamer and a believer, for a special edition of Soccer in Sixes, and look forward to bringing a very, very enlightening, exciting conversation with Dia. So with that, Dia, if I could just begin to ask you, tell us about the journey with Save the Children.
Oh, it's been a life-altering experience for me. We started working together in 2016, and working with Save the Children has helped me understand how many children in our country. We have over 20 lakh children living in street-connected situations in India. And of course, you respond to this situation from a place of empathy and concern. And it's when I started to interact with the children through Save the Children that I discovered how much potential and how much progress these children can make as individuals with access to everything that we hope every child should have access to. You know,
Absolutely.
Starting with identity, access to hygiene and sanitation, education, good quality, nutritious food, and you know, just getting them access to government schemes and programs has helped me witness so many young, amazing children across the country become individuals that they aspire to be, pursue dreams and ambitions that they had, and you know, become champions and change makers. I think what really for me is a celebration of this association is the fact that, you know, through the work that we've been able to do together, the advocacy, the campaigns, we've been able to inspire policy change. We've been able to give identities to so many more children in our country.
When you speak with so much of passion and so much of belief, you know, there is a conviction. What drives that passion and the need and the belief in that change for you as an individual, especially when it comes to street connected children? What is that thing that keeps you going?
Love. I love children, and I do also believe that it is absolutely necessary for each and every one of us to work towards building a world that is equal and safe and provides the opportunity to all.
So with Street Child Cricket World Cup, which is a very unique platform for children, coming to India in 2023, and the World Cup fever would also hit India then. So what are you most excited about for this opportunity coming to our country? You know, a platform for street connected children.
Naturally, I'm most excited about the fact that this World Cup is going to happen in India, and it's going to bring children from street connected situations from across the country to our country. And it's not going to be just a game. I think it's, you know, we will all agree that this is more than a game, because while the sporting event itself is going to be exciting and wonderful and give so many young people from across the world the opportunity to come to India and play together and compete in such a healthy and wonderful environment. But I think the most important thing is that it's going to give these children a voice. It's going to give our children the opportunity to be seen and heard and loved, because if there's one thing that will draw people in to this game will of course be the fact that these young amazing children will be playing it. But each one of them will have a story to tell, and a very compelling story to tell. And that's what excites me the most, because they will be heard.
Yes. And if you had the power to urge, because you are in a very influential position, Dia, like you are an advocate on SDGs, and you're appointed, especially appointed UN Secretary General's Ambassador on SDGs. And if I were to ask you, if you had the power to rally behind it and urge global national leaders, what would be that thing that you would demand of them for the children in street situation?
Well, you know, a sustainable world, a healthy world, a balanced world has to be one that never ignores our children.
Yeah.
And the only way we can achieve our goals is if we include children and ensure that the most marginalized, most vulnerable children get access to everything that is their right, their fundamental right to life.
What would be that message for people to join in? Because you have a huge following, you're an influencer, and people, you're a role model for girls and young people, and especially for girls. I've seen many people saying, and many girls I've met, that, oh, Diya ma'am, you know, like they really look up to you, like even children you have met. So Nisha,
if I remember correctly, Pragya, you can correct me if I'm wrong, this is a gender neutral World Cup, right?
It is.
So,
it is.
So this is like the high point.
Mixed teams.
Because yes, this is actually the most exciting thing to me, because we keep talking about gender equality, and I think the Street Child World Cup is such a wonderful representation of the fact that both genders can form mixed teams and compete with each other and have a great time. I think the fact that Street Child United has come up with this novel idea to use the world of sport, you know, to engage and bring children together. John's story really, I mean, it gave me goosebumps when I heard it. But when he told me that a child felt like a person when he or she is playing a sport, that to me is just such a profound truth and an unfortunate truth, because we do often treat children who live in street situations as beggars, as thieves. We don't know them, we don't call them by their names. We are not good to them. There is a unfortunate apathy when it comes to children. And I can't even begin to imagine what kind of impact that has on their psychology, on how they feel and think as people. And if sport can give them dignity and identity, I mean, what a wonderful way to give children opportunity.
Thank you. You put it so well, and I think it's just the essence of of everything that we believe in. You know, a dignity, a life of dignity is what we aspire for these children. So thank you so much for finding time. It's always such a pleasure.
Pragya, what a fantastic ambassador. She's so passionate and so committed to what we're doing. I think in some sense, she's kind of like the perfect ambassador role model that we should have on board. Do you agree?
No, absolutely. And I think Diya is just that right kind of person who brings the passion, who brings the dream for children who are living on the streets. And we couldn't have got anyone better. She's just extraordinary human being as well. So we are so excited that we have her support right from the start.
It's time to get a different angle of the Street Child Cricket World Cup, this time from a young leader and former player for the hosts, India. I'm delighted to welcome Anjali. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi.
Anjali, tell me, how long have you been playing cricket, and cricket आपके लिए क्यों इतना special है?
Since last 3 years, I am playing cricket for this tournament, Street Child Cricket World Cup 2019. So from there, I start my cricket. For me, cricket means more than game, and apart from this, as my opinion, cricket is a game that I realize when someone is playing cricket for a long time, he or she made her own separate identity. So when I am playing Street Children Cricket World Cup 2019, I also make my own identity. So I think cricket is the best game in the world.
You also played at Lord's last year, which is called the Mecca of cricket. How did it feel playing on that turf and that pitch where world cricketers play?
So first of all, I am feeling very happy to represent my team India North, on the pitch of the great stadium, the Lord's Stadium. And after that, I feel very brave, intelligent, sentimental and very courageous for raise my voice on the behalf of the street children. So it is the main important thing for me to play at Lords, because with my game to raise voice on the behalf of the street children, that is also important.
2019 was also about representing India.
I am very proud of my country that I got the chance to represent my country, India, in front among all the countries. So in the Lords, it is a very big thing towards me because many big players they didn't got chance to play at Lords. But I
Yeah.
am one of them that I am already get this chance and played over there. So I feel myself very lucky.
Street Child Cricket World Cup is a fantastic platform. इतना बड़ा platform है young people के लिए. तो आप क्या change या impact देखना चाहती है? Especially for street connected young children in India.
In the General Assembly, I also said that I want to make a change for the street children. I want change that all street children get their all rights, right to education, protection, shelter, and nutrition, as well as education. First of all, they need their identity because if they do not get their identity, they do not do anything in their future. And many people think that street children are invisible and street children are not they do not think them as a child. They saw them and many of them did not care about them, but they are somebody. I am somebody, we all are somebody, so we should take a step and think about them.
So good. She's such an inspiration, honestly.
I know. The good news is that in 2023, Street Child Cricket World Cup will happen in India, you know, and it's a very proud moment. So you tell me, what are you most excited about? Looking forward to 2023, where what we did at Lords will be happening in India.
I'm very excited that it is first time going to hold the Street Child Cricket World Cup in India, in my country. So I'm very proud of this, that from other countries, children will come in my country.
India won at 2019 on the turf of the home of cricket, which is Lords. What are your sort of anticipation? What is your game plan? Will India win it at the home turf?
I obviously want that my country to win this tournament because this tournament is going to held in India, in our country. So I definitely want India to win this tournament.
If you would like to tell the participants for 2023 that one message as to what they should look forward to, what would that be?
I would like to say them that the Street Child Cricket World Cup is more than a game. If you think that you lose the game, so you should never give up because we go there for fun, a lot of enjoyment. But important thing that we are going to do there, that is raise voice for the behalf of the other street children. I would also like to say them that they get chance to participate in the Street Child Cricket World Cup, but many other street children that people saw them as an invisible one, but they didn't get the chance and opportunity for participating in it. But they should raise voice for them, that they should also get chance to participate in this type of tournament.
Very, very well put. I think you have a very powerful message for all the participants coming to play the game, but also to be the voice on behalf of children. That's a very powerful message.
Anjali, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your story, your experiences, and we really hope to see you in India in a few years' time, so thank you. And Pragya, thank you so much for your time today as well. It's always a pleasure having you on our show. And we hope to have you back again, tell us more about the planning and help us get that excitement going leading up to 2023. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Anjali. It was lovely seeing you. Bye and see you soon.
Street Child United met many new faces in 2019, and we were delighted to involve two of our wonderful ambassadors for the first time, BBC presenters and cricket experts, Dan Norcross and Izzy Westbury. Thank you so much for joining us today on Soccer and Sixes. You're both part of the inaugural Street Child Cricket World Cup in 2019 as ambassadors. So what were your experiences like, and any particular highlights for you?
I thought it was just the most inspirational and an extraordinary experience, to be honest with you, just to see all these kids from around the world all congregate together, never met before, in Cambridge.
Yeah, it's the little bits as well as the big bits. I think trying to persuade Team Mauritius that 9 degrees Celsius on a windswept green in Cambridge was in fact the English summer, which it took me a while to believe that. And yeah, I think it was the way that they approached it, whether they were at Lord's, which can be quite austere and imposing, or on green in Cambridge. They just wanted to play sport and be together, and had a thoroughly good time, and so did we.
You know, we all know that cricket is the lifeblood for so many communities around the world, and especially to people who are vulnerable. What is it about the game of cricket that you think resonates with so many people?
I don't know whether it's a cliche, is it, Dan, to say that cricket reflects life and it's more than just a game, but there's a magic, isn't there, about cricket? It's such a weird game in many ways, because it's not just about your ability with the ball, it's about so many other things that go on around it. But the fact that it can go on for 5 days is insane in many ways, but also part of its allure. I think one of the things that I really hit home during the Street Child Cricket World Cup was the way in which cricket can really be a force for gender equality, more so than perhaps any other sport, because you can play it when you're wearing a dress. You can play it with boys and girls, and especially when at the age and stage when you're likely to get into it, sort of your young teens. It's not a contact sport. The physical elements aren't quite as important. So it was this idea that in all over the world, society is developing at very different rates in terms of their attitudes to gender, and I feel that cricket is such a leveller.
It's something that cuts right to the very heart of societies, especially in the subcontinent, in Bangladesh and India and Sri Lanka and Pakistan. It's an incredible force for bringing what are often riven communities, and in some cases very poor communities, together. And it gives them hope, and it gives them identity, and it gives them common ground, which is what's so important.
So how do you feel about the next Street Child Cricket World Cup happening in India in 2023? What do you think we'll achieve, and what will that do for India?
I can't think of a better place for it to be in. Cricket is not just huge in India, it's the most important thing in India in all probability. So what better place for it to happen there? It'll get huge traction, awareness of the issues that the kids have from around the world, but also, the thrill for them to be playing in what is essentially the centre of cricket now. We talk about England as the home of cricket. India is the home of cricket. There's over 1 billion cricket fanatics there. The respect and the joy that these kids can get and receive from this will just be magnificent. And it will also, I think, shine a light on a problem. And there is a problem in India of street kids, an undeniable one. And I don't think it's sort of impossible to imagine a better place for it. And just the exotic idea of these kids playing. They've played at Lord's and now playing in front of what could be thousands of people watching, because you know what Indians are like. If they get into something, they'll really run with it. And I just think, I get goosebumps thinking about it. It's a place of stories. It's a place where great tales get told. And I think we're going to come out of this with some really, really fantastic stories.
Whenever I go to India to watch cricket, I just get consumed by envy that this is a place that enjoys it to such a degree that I don't think we get perhaps in sort of the Northern Hemisphere. Our relationship with sport is so different. In India, it's that festival, it's an all-out celebration. And I think, yes, if my experience is anything to go by, then you leave the country thinking, how can I instill that where I've just come from? And I think that's what you want to do, because this is a global tournament. It's, as Dan said, it's important to shine the light on the barriers facing street children in India. But of course, this is a global tournament, and one in which there's street children across the world. And I think if we can see the power of sport and the power of sport in the way that it's achieved in India, if we can try and take that back, so bottle it up, and use it when the kids go back home. I think that would be very important, and I hope that will be achieved. I'm sure it can be. I mean, roll on 2023, that's all I'd say.
You've taken the words out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm literally counting it down, honestly. But listen, thank you so much. I know you're really, really busy, and we really appreciate your ongoing support. So thank you so much on behalf of Street Child United and Save the Children. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Privilege. Thanks.
My next guest is a true champion. Having faced serious adversity as a Rohingya refugee, she's now made the BBC's 100 most inspiring women list, captaining England at Lord's in the process. A very warm welcome, Jasmine. Thanks so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm all right. I mean, thank you so much for inviting me to this show once again. I mean, it feels good to be back.
So tell me, Jasmine, where did your love for cricket first begin?
Because of the situation where I was in, it made me play sport, and I didn't really bother which sport it was because I felt as though I needed to play sport to come out of the circumstances that I was in, and that is how I got into cricket. So, like I said, the circumstances that I was in was like I was in deep depression, and obviously, as we know, a teenager who's like 13 being in depression can be quite tough. So I think through playing sport, I overcame that. So I overcame my depression through playing football and cricket, and that is how my love for cricket has increased over time.
Now, you were captain of Team England, and you managed to get to the final last year in the Street Child Cricket World Cup. But what was that experience like for you? You were in Cambridge and Lord's. Tell us about it.
Oh, first of all, I must say that the experience was the best thing that has ever happened to me. So, like anything that I've done, I am so glad that I took part in the Cricket World Cup because, first of all, I didn't just participate. You know what I mean? I was made the captain of Team England. I must say that I was really nervous because knowing who I am, knowing where I've been from, knowing my background, and to be given the opportunity, you know, to captain a host country like me right now, for me, it was a moment of privilege where I thought, like, for me, that was a moment that no one could take away from me because I am a refugee. I have been a former refugee, and I know what it's like, you know, to be given the opportunity, you know, to represent your country. Although, like, I never got the opportunity to represent obviously, where I'm born, the country that where I'm born. When I was given the opportunity to, you know, captain Team England, I was really privileged. I thought, so what? I mean, I've been a refugee. Now that I've got this in my hand, I can't like mess it up because obviously no matter what, I am living in this country and I have to do my best and do justice to my role. And as a sport person, you know what that means to you because you're not just playing for yourself, you're playing for the whole entire nation, no matter how big or small the game is. So, you know, as a sport person, you have that thing. You have to do justice to your role. And for me, I wanted to be the best I could and, you know, lead the team throughout the journey.
Jasmine, I heard a rumour that you played some spectacular shots during that game. You did a reverse sweep six, which is a very, very tricky shot. How on earth did you manage to do that? Where did you learn that from?
Well, I genuinely don't know how that left sweep came out of the reverse shot because, I mean, I just play to have fun. And that's the most important thing, I think, as a sport person. You need to have fun when you play. So, and that is what I've done. And I was just doing it for fun. And I just don't know how, you know, everyone literally are talking about it. So
it's pretty spectacular. You know, I work in cricket and my goodness, that is not an easy shot. And you're so cool about it. I love that most about you. Jasmine, at the final at Lord's, you were given some really special treatment. A place like that, you know, normally all those big international players. What kind of experiences did you have?
The final of the Street Child United was held at Lord's, which is one of the world's biggest ground. You know what I mean? Only professionals can play in that pitch. And I think it has been possible because of Street Child United, where children like us, like unprofessionals, got the opportunity to play in that pitch. And I think that's a moment that nobody, like if you play cricket, you cannot forget that moment. For me, that was another moment where like, which I would like to highlight that it has only been possible because of Street Child United, and I got the opportunity to play on that pitch. Now I can say I played at Lords.
What do you do next once you've played at Lords? I mean, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
And what about the dressing rooms and the long room? That's a really, really magnificent place as well. They have all the trophies, and it's a bit that the players walk through. What was that like?
So obviously, we had the treatment of the players that normally players have. So how you walk through the long room. Long room is the room where the players walk out to the pitch. And obviously, when we were walking out, we literally felt like some superstars because we were being clapped, cheered onto the pitch. So for us, that moment was like a moment where, like, literally, you know how you do something like really big and everyone's watching you, or what's gonna happen. It was, for us, that was that moment, especially when I was leading. It was like I felt pressurized because I was really nervous.
Now, one of the other highlights for you, and something I want to discuss with you, what was it like speaking at Parliament, and what does that mean to you, Street Child Cricket World Cup?
Speaking at the House of Parliament was the first ever speech I've ever done in my entire life. So that is a speech I can never forget. That was needed in my life, you know what I mean, to be who I am. And to be at a stage where, you know, I can put my voice across. I wanted to take up that opportunity to speak at the House of Parliament because I know that is the right time to, you know, put that voice across. And I'm glad I've done that because now that I felt out the gender equality bit that I've been through has been highlighted throughout now. And obviously it's not like one people that's speaking about, there's many now that's raising awareness of that. And I am really happy about the fact that people are raising awareness of gender equality because it's not fair. Just because we're girls, we don't get many opportunities in sport. I just feel that the sport is something, you know, that can be played by everyone. If they are given opportunity, they could literally do their best, and we don't know where they're going to go. But I just feel as though everyone needs to be given that opportunity rather than stop them, restrict them from what they want to do. And that is something that goes on a lot in where I used to live at the camp in Bangladesh, everywhere. Like everywhere you go there, you can hear that all girls should be at home, cook, do the household. Why are they even like thinking of going out there and do something that a man would do? And I think that thought needs to change. So yeah.
And you're a great voice to, you know, speak to people about that. You're a great role model for other young girls as well. Jasmine, do you think Team England can win the Street Child Cricket World Cup in India in 2023?
Hopefully. I genuinely don't know how this is going to work, obviously. I mean, I just hope and pray that they do their best. I mean, it's not all about winning, like you say. It's about the experience that you get out of it. So, obviously, with the Street Child Cricket World Cup, that personally I've had a lot of experiences and moments that is like literally highlighted in my life. So I just believe even if they don't win, they could literally come out with so much more from that, like so much experience, so much moments that they could capture for their entire life.
Jasmine, thank you so much for your time today. It's the second time that I've spoken to you, and every time I speak to you, I always go away feeling really inspired. You are a true role model and a great ambassador, you know, for us as well. So thank you very much, and good luck with everything you do.
Thank you once again for inviting me on this show. It feels good to be here, you know, put my voice across. So yeah, thank you.
We've been touched to receive messages of support from around the world, including this one from the British Deputy High Commissioner in India.
Having been involved in the Street Child World Cup in 2014 and the Street Child Games in 2016, both in Brazil, and the inaugural Street Child Cricket World Cup at Lords last year, I know firsthand what an amazing experience the Street Child Cricket World Cup in India in 2023 will be. The great thing about these tournaments is that before a ball is been bowled or kicked, all the children are winners. They have, often for the first time, had to apply for passports or birth certificates that have given them access to education or protection from violence, something that they haven't experienced previously. And they'll be representing street-affected children from their host countries and all around the world. I can't think of a better place for a Street Child Cricket World Cup than India, and it's a great example of more collaboration between the UK and India working hand in hand together. The UK, where cricket was first played, and India, where it's played by so many. I've lived in India for about a year. It's a fantastic country and I can't wait to welcome everybody back in 2023. This is more than a game.
Lovely words from Oliver. Again, we feel the warm welcome the young people will receive when they make the journey from home through India and to the World Cup. Thank you to everyone that's contributed to tonight's show. It's been truly wonderful to see how everything is coming together, and we can't wait for it all to begin. There's still a long journey ahead, but I know that India 2023 is going to be an event to behold. Organising, inspiring and empowering young people from around the globe to stand up and tell the world about themselves, that they are somebody.
In 2019, the Street Child Cricket World Cup was held here at Lords, the home of cricket. 8 teams of street-connected young people from around the world competed in a Street 20 cricket tournament, a festival of arts and a congress to campaign for their rights.
Team England were proud to represent our country at a home tournament where we welcome teams from all around the world. We are now making plans for the next Street Child Cricket World Cup in 2023, but what country will host the tournament?
It is not in the West Indies.
It's not in Tanzania.
It's not in Mauritius.
It's not in Pakistan.
It is not in Nepal.
It's not in Bangladesh.
The Street Child Cricket World Cup is coming to India!
Application for 2023 are now open and we are inviting teams from across the world.
It's wonderful that this tournament is happening in India, the spiritual home ground of cricket. The Street Child World Cup is not just a game. It is an opportunity for the voices of our street-connected children to be heard.